Hi Moika. So today I'd like to talk about one cultural difference, or let's say like a small culture shock which I have experienced in Finland. Maybe this is something I haven't really talked about in my previous video, but I talked about this topic with my friends and colleagues, including Finns and people from other countries with diverse backgrounds. And I was thinking maybe this is something which is nice to know if you live in Finland or if you are thinking of coming to Finland. So I decided to make this video. Before talking about this, let me ask you a question. Let's say if you have an international friend and that person is coming to your family's place. How do you communicate? How does that conversation goes among those people? And if I think about in my culture, probably, so in this case, if I have a Finnish friend coming over to my family's place in Japan, and let's say if that person comes for dinner, probably this friend, he or she, will be the center of this attention. Because I can easily imagine that my family probably keep asking questions to my Finnish friend, like which city are you from, what are you studying, how long have you lived in Japan, or why did you decide to come to Japan, or that kind of questions, because probably they're really interested and they want to know more about my friend, and also they are probably not likely to talk about topics which my friend wouldn't understand, because it's not really nice that my Finnish friend in this case feel left out in the conversations. And I asked this question to my friends from different countries, and especially my Japanese friends and some friends from, let's say, Southern Europe agreed my point, because they think that pretty much same thing will happen to them. However, I have experienced a little bit different situations when I visited some Finnish family. And this is not just a one-time thing, but this happened several times. And also I have heard a pretty much similar experience as mine from my Japanese friends and my foreign friends who visited Finnish family. And what I'm gonna tell you is based on my experience and what I heard from many people. And so it's not necessarily applying to all the people in Finland or all the families in Finland. And also I'm just talking about the cultural differences, so it's not which makes good or bad. So the thing is that myself and many other foreigners who visited Finnish family experienced that even though they are the guest, many families tend to treat them equally. So let's say if you are a foreigner and you are visiting some Finnish family with your Finnish friends, and you might expect that that Finnish family might start asking you many questions to you, basic questions such as where are you from, how long have you been in Finland, how do you like Finland, or that kind of basic stuff. But it's not always the case. And what many people have experienced is that they don't usually get much attention, or they get attention, but as much as just other family members there. And one thing I want to highlight is they are never mean to you. They're really nice. And you might expect that you get a lot of attention, but not always. So they still ask you questions in the conversations or based on the topics which they are talking with other people. But it's not like you are the one who gets the most questions and you are treated as a VIP. And to be honest, I have been confused several times when I was in these kind of situations, because I was thinking, don't they like me, or maybe they're not interested in me, or did I do something rude, and so on. But later I realized they actually talk to me, but it's pretty much different ways as it would be in many other countries. Like in my case, if that person comes to my family, and they might get a lot of attention and treated really a important guest. Yeah, but clearly the way how they show hospitality is different between Japanese and Finnish families, and also many other countries. For example, if it's in my family at least, that guest would get a lot of spotlight. people will ask you a lot of questions. But I think in Finnish families, it feels like they treat you like just equally as others. So they might not treat you like exceptionally or like in a special way, but that's how they show hospitality, because maybe they already see you as part of the community. One thing I forgot to mention is it might also depend on the generations, because many of my Finnish friends in my, like around my ages, they would be pretty different. But it feels like people in the older generations might be like this. I actually asked my colleagues about this, and they actually agreed about these differences. And it was really interesting to hear that one of them told me that if Finnish people get like a lot of attention when they visit some families abroad, then some people might feel it's a bit too much. And if they have that kind of sense of value, of course, when they have the guests coming over, they might not really treat it really like a special ways by giving a lot of attention. And another Finnish friend pointed out that when she visited her boyfriend's family's place for the first time, she also didn't get a lot of questions from the families, but they were still enjoying the conversations. Although she was worried that they don't like me or what, but it turned out to be that they just liked her, but they were just having normal conversations, not like asking her like a lot of basic questions. So what I learned from here is being in that kind of situation doesn't necessarily mean that they don't like you or they are not welcoming you. And also one thing that helped me was I have heard of this kind of differences already beforehand based on my friend's experience, so in a way I was a little bit prepared. But still, when I was in that situation, I was a little bit confused. So my point is that knowing this kind of like differences would be quite a big help if you know it beforehand. And that's the reason why I decided to make this video. And besides, I'm interested in hearing your opinion, especially how you'd treat those guests if they come to your place and if your family members are there, like how you communicate together and how you show the hospitality. So especially if you're a Finnish person and have some international friends or acquaintances, or if you're like a foreigner living in Finland, and if you might get that kind of opportunities, this kind of like difference might be, let's say, nice to know. And once again, this is just a difference based on these values and culture, so I'm not saying which one is better or worse. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching this video and see you in my next video. Moikka!